All right, here's my audience. I've got 4.5 people this time. All right. All ready? So according to the American Psychological Association, a 2022 study showed that about 70% of employees experienced some form of burnout over the period of a year. This affects many people across the world, not just you as an individual, but everyone around you as well. This can affect your personal life. It can affect your family life. It can even affect your future career goals. There is a need to change this culture in America, our work culture. Many of you have worked for some employer in the past that had a profound and lasting effect on your psyche. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Cool. Many of you have had worked for an employer in the past that made you feel insignificant. It made you feel that you were nothing but an employee number and not an individual. You are not alone in dealing with this culture. Burnout is defined as a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that was caused by excessive and prolonged stress. This occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet the constant demands of your workforce. Have you ever worked in an environment like this before? I have. I worked for a company that would schedule me on average about 50 hours a week. But because of my position, I would have to work almost 80 hours a week to include 24-hour on-call rotations to address issues at all hours of the night. The American Institute of Stress has found that about 80% of people experience some kind of extreme stress during their job. But nearly half of them feel that it's bad enough that they have to find some way to manage this. Additionally, that same company performed a study in 2023 that revealed employees who work on average more than 50 hours a week are 3 times more likely to develop some kind of burnout. This condition can have devastating effects. Many of employees have admitted for being diagnosed for some new psychological disorder, such as anxiety or depression. This can create a family and work life imbalance. Behavioral disorders such as depression can lead to disassociation from relationships at home as well as at work. And in extreme cases, if the underlying condition is left untreated or the condition at work is left uncorrected, some people have taken their lives. This obviously has an enormous impact on their own social circle as well as their family. So what's the cause of all this? For many of us, it's the pressures of a demanding job, accompanied by a demanding management team. Overbearing and micromanaging supervisors and managers play heavily in this. For others, it may just simply be that the career field that they are currently working in is not the line of work that they had originally wanted to do. It was not their end goal. For others, these stresses happen over a short period of time. Most of the time, this happens over a long period of time. This exposure breaks you down. You end up losing your drive to work. Maybe you no longer find any enjoyment in the job that you do. These feelings are not confined only to your job, but can spill into your personal life as well, affecting your relationships, affecting your family. There are even some articles out there that go as far as to say that this is all fake. There is no burnout. CEOs are teaching each other that this is all a facade and are placing the blame on a newer generation's mindset. Americans also have one of the worst paid leave systems within all developed countries. Okay? On average, the American is given about 8 to 12 days of leave a year. Most of the time, this includes your holidays. Doesn't include your scheduled days off like your weekend. Every employer is a little different. Other countries, particularly in Europe, have a far better paid leave system. On average, their citizens get about 20 to 30 days of leave per year, excluding holidays. Doesn't include your weekends and your scheduled time off as well. Now, obviously, every employer is a little bit different. Some have a better benefits package than others, but in many European countries, the minimum leave is mandated by some local government. Their daily workflow integrates a staccatoed work pattern that allows for decompression during busy periods of work. Japan is a prime example of the opposite of this mentality. They are generally required to work nonstop over long shifts with very few and very short breaks throughout the day. Maternal and parental leave in America is widely considered to be some of the worst in the world. You are given, on average, 12 unpaid days. Your job's protected, but you are unpaid outside of any accrued leave that you have gained. FMLA helps us to cover this, and sometimes they can offer extensions, but those extensions are completely at the discretion of your employer. Countries like Norway, Iceland, Switzerland, they have a minimum mandatory recommendation of 14 weeks. Some countries are as generous to give you 58 weeks off for maternal and parental leave. All of this according to the Euro Development Group, the Eurodev. Now, this leave is also covered at about 50% of your current annual salary, as opposed to America's unpaid leave system after your PTO has been paid out. So it is time to push for a change in this culture. Many newer and innovative employers are moving in the right direction. COVID-19 showed that it is possible to work from home and remain as, if not more, productive than working in a brick and mortar location. Now, we know there's a problem in our workforce. Employers don't want to acknowledge it. This is more common in your larger, big box, your normal national and your global brands. So what can be done about it? What can we do to affect a change? So some employers have responded with having an employment assistance program to great effect. Some have changed the arrangements with their work to allow for more flexible scheduling, to allow you to even work from home if the work permits it. This is not always the case for all employers. In 2021, Starbucks employees who were tired of their working conditions, tired of their staffing shortages, their minimal compensation, and their struggles with burnout finally decided to take action. Starbucks employees in multiple locations successfully unionized to address these issues. Now, if you work in an environment like that I have described, then it is time to push for this kind of change. Now, unionization can potentially provide a powerful tool for advocacy for better working conditions and by fostering a supportive work environment through collective bargaining. I want you to imagine working for an employer that treats you fairly and compensates you accordingly. Imagine an employer that maintains an open dialogue with you and all of their employees to address any concerns and to then take action on them. This can be achieved by educating yourself about unionization, becoming politically active, and encouraging your lawmakers to work towards adopting systems and laws that standardize your benefits as well as your work-life balance. Thank you.